Welcome to Plastic Model Mojo, a podcast dedicated to scale modeling as well as the news and events around the hobby. Let's join Mike and Kentucky Dave as they strive to be informative, entertaining, and help you keep your modeling mojo alive.
Kentucky Dave, it's episode 168. We're finally getting around to getting an episode out after the 2026 IPMS National Convention. How you doing?
All right. Do you think we got anything to talk about?
We have a truncated episode because we got a lot of content from the show to put out there for people to hear. And yes, we still have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So what is up in your model sphere?
Recovery. Unpacking, still a little bit of work in my model room I'm still working on solutions. Reluctantly, I have come to the conclusion, and folks, I hate to say this because it's recorded and he's going to play it back continuously now and into the future. Mike was right regarding the retail paint rack, and it's got to go. I thought I had a solution that really utilized it and worked, and it doesn't. And I have now admitted to myself, much to my chagrin, that my podcast partner was correct. And so I'll be getting rid of it. Go ahead, grab this piece of audio, and I'm sure you will use Mike was right again and again in the future.
There's been a time or two. Some of our favorite retailers have offered me a surplus paint rack, and I've always declined because it's great for retail, but unless you got 8 jars of the same color, it just hides the next one you put behind it. So there's just not much you can do with it, in my opinion, for personal paint collection.
I thought I had a solution, but solution does not utilize the rack to the level that would justify its presence.
Yeah, it's big too. That's the other problem.
Yep.
It's a space hog.
Yep. And so it's going to go.
All right. Well, that'll free up some space.
Yes, it will. So in sum, recovery, because I don't know about, I guess maybe turning 65 may have done something, but, or maybe this was just such a great national that it's taken me longer to recover, but I am recovering. I got a lot of stuff to put away and to organize and to categorize, and there's that, and then I'm still working on my model room. So how about your model sphere?
Well, it's the Nats as well, and I talked about it a little bit in our little short thank you thing we put out a week ago. I had a great time, man. I absolutely did. I just think that the entire timing for me was right.
Yes.
I'd worked hard going up to that, and I'd had it on the calendar a while, and just things went well at home. So that was never an issue. I had a little issue at work that I had to cover, and I arrived later than planned, but I've said it before, I think, again, in that short we did. I can't say enough how great it was to just walk into that Airbnb at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, our arrival day, and see all of my best friends I've made in this hobby, save one. And then 40 minutes later, Evan McCallum, Panzermeister 36, who was the missing friend, arrived. It was just a joy, man, because I'm so glad to be there after I thought there was some tracers flying by the windscreen that made me think I wasn't going to make it, you know.
Well, and once again, our friend Mark Copeland selected a fantastic Airbnb that worked out beautifully. I've got to say, it was big enough with enough common space to host a lot of people that came by, that dropped by, etc. And it was still comfortable enough that everybody we weren't on top of each other. And hats off to Copeland again, and I can't wait to see what he does for us in Huntsville.
Well, I tell you something that I thought about on the drive home, and I just think it is testament to the depth of those friendships and the maturity of those friendships that have become. Because this time you would think it might be a problem, but we didn't all think we had to be on the same schedule this time.
Yes.
And it just kind of worked out.
I mean,
And
when we went to the baseball game on Friday, Steve Husted had, some friends in town that he had to have dinner with. Mark Copeland went out with the folks from Edward, and yet we all ended up eventually arriving back at the Airbnb on our own schedules and still had a great time.
we did. And just picked up
We
where we
did.
left off when the last time we were all together, whatever night or day that was,
Yep,
breakfast or whenever it was. Uh,
exactly.
I love seeing all our listeners and friends we've made in the last 6.5 years. That was great. On top of
Yes.
our core group that we bunk with at the Airbnb. It was great to see D-Ran back in the trenches with the Model Geeks, and
Yes, it was.
they got over their technical issue and got some content out and did a
Yep.
fine job of that. But life was lying in ambush, waiting for my scheduled return. So, got busy at work real quick, rolled right back into picking up where we left off with moving one son back to the house and another out to an apartment. So this weekend's been jam-packed with those fun festivities, sarcasm
Yeah.
included, for free. And I guess one more thing about the Nats for now, till we get into our content here in a little while. Well, a couple things. One was the gifts. We got a what broke our wallet segment coming up that folks are going to want to stick around for. But I get there and there's a wrapped package on my bed from Mark Copeland, turned down service, the Airbnb, I guess. And
Yeah.
he gave me a copy of the book that we're going to give away here in a few minutes.
Yes, he gave me one as well, and I don't know if you've looked through it.
I have.
He put a lovely inscription in a personalized inscription in the book, and it's really cool. It has jazzed me to do some 8th Air Force stuff, which I'm sure was Mark's ulterior motive
Probably
to begin
was.
with. But yes, it was very kind.
And then from one of our favorite Aussies, Paul Gloucester, he gifted me with tonight's modeling fluid we'll get to in a minute, and a pair of these Annette's precision tweezers, which I must say
Yes.
are pretty nice.
They are fantastic.
I might be
That
ordering
will-
the rest of those series.
Yeah, well, the problem is that it's tough to get them shipped into the US.
We'll figure
The guy
something
may
out.
have changed now, but the reason Gloucester brought them to us was you couldn't get them shipped into the US. Now, that was at the height of all the tariff stuff, and maybe
Yeah.
things have calmed down.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
I hope so, but maybe not.
You'll have to check.
And then the voice of Bob Bear, our barker
Yes.
from Charlotte, North Carolina, he had mentioned in a listener mail about it came up in the note taking and all that topic and our ongoing workshop kind of shop talk stuff, and he gifted us one of those little Rocketbook notepads.
Yes.
And I've got the app on my phone. I'm gonna give it a try here at work here this coming week and see what that's all about. So I appreciated that.
I'm going to do the same thing.
But then it's going to reside solidly on my workbench after that.
Yep. Yep.
And then I won't get into the details of it, but the fine folks at Arma Hobby ended up being shockingly generous to us at the end of the show.
Wonderful people.
Absolutely.
Modelers through and through. It was fantastic.
And, I guess if there was any downer, Dave Goldfinch, he got some new OTB stickers.
Yep.
And I've had one on my water bottle lid since the last time he was over, which I think was, when was that?
Omaha.
Was it Omaha?
Oh, my God, yeah.
So
Madison.
Was it Madison?
Yeah, he came back for Madison.
I think you're right. It's been at least 2 years then.
That's because Madison is when he hung out at my house for the first time.
Well, 2, 4, or 6 years. That's right. He did. I was at your house too.
Yes, I know.
You are. Then we all rode together in the car. I just can't remember what show it was.
It was Madison.
Well, my OTB sticker has resided on the top of my water bottle ever since. And it's because it fit perfectly. It's worse for wear now, and I needed a new one. He gave me a new sticker. It won't fit my water bottle lid.
Oh, well, you got to get a new water bottle.
It's you got this white border. It's a larger diameter. Won't fit. Damn you, David Goldfinch.
Either that or you can get your thinner line circle cutter out.
Beat me to it. I was going to say the space industry might be without any OTB visibility, but the thinner line circle cutter is going to take care of this, and it's all going to work out. So we're going to let him off the hook. Thank you for the sticker, Dave.
Yes, thank you, Dave.
Good to see you, mate. It was good to see you.
Among everything.
Well, that is my model sphere.
Well, Mike, you already mentioned it, since we're recording an episode, you got to, Lord knows we have modeling fluid.
We do, and that's going to be a rolling thank you for
Yes,
crap.
for
I don't know, maybe till Christmas. I don't know.
it
At
easily.
least that'll at least take us that long to sample everything.
Yes.
I really hope I don't have it all finished by Christmas.
Well, I couldn't finish it all.
I might
by
need an
Christmas.
appointment at
We'll
Betty
see.
Ford if that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, you mentioned it. What's your modeling fluid?
I've gone on and recommended and raved and sung the praises of Russell's 10-year being the best. It's a good bourbon.
Yeah, it's a really good. It's
For a
good
10-year.
bourbon.
It's a bargain.
Yes,
Absolutely a bargain. Paul Gloucester raised the stakes and gifted me a bottle of Russell's Single Barrel, which is kind of the next tier up, and it's kind of on that price point where, yeah, it's Christmas and New Year's. I might treat myself to that, but it's not one I would normally buy.
yeah.
So thank you, Paul Gloucester, for the Russell Single Barrel. We'll talk about it at the end of the episode. I'm going to enjoy it till the end. That's my modeling fluid. What do you got?
I am using my new World of Armor keychain beer opener,
All right.
bottle opener, to open a Trappist Rochefort Belgian ale from our friend of the podcast, David Morris. He brought us 2 beers, and this is the first one. It's a Belgian ale. I know I'm going to love it. The
All right.
Trappists make great beer, and it was great to see Dr. Morris at the show, and you were able to gift him a little Scooby snack in thanks for everything that he's helped
right.
you out with. And so I have no doubt. Oh, God, that's good. Yeah. This is going to be a good episode.
Now that you're a hops guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
7 years
good.
ago, that probably wouldn't have been so good to you.
It probably not, but man. Oh, God, that's good.
All right. Well, he'll be happy to
Dr.
hear
Morris, thank you very much. I can say that in advance.
All right. Well, Dave, we had a call to action a while back to get some topic suggestions or guest suggestions or whatever. Of our listeners, we had about 25 listeners who answered the call to action, which for a call to action like that, it's not bad at all, honestly.
Nope,
Pretty good.
actually,
We got a lot of great topic suggestions and a lot of great guest suggestions. So we're going to parse through that as the months roll on, and some of it we'll act on. If there's a couple that I'm not going to act on, I owe those folks an email to explain why.
Yep.
That's for a later day. So thank you to all the fine folks for that. We had considered doing this at the National Convention, but honestly, folks, we were having too much fun to remember.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm not sure where we'd fit. Well, I know where we would have fit it in. Maybe one less pass through the vendor area, but
we had to do something live from the show like the geeks do, and that's kind of their thing. So we chose not to do it I don't know. We just didn't do it, and probably because we were too busy having fun. But
we were,
and we don't normally push out the content during the show.
Yeah,
we've never done that. So to not enjoy the show.
Yep. You got a wheel to spin?
I do, Dave. So we're going to have to fire up the old Mojo Prizonator and get this done.
Okay.
Let me dust the cobwebs off of it.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Give it a little oil.
WD-40.
Yeah.
Duct tape's holding good. All right. I think I got it now. I think I got it.
Spin away.
Double check here. All right, Dave. We have a winner.
Who's our lucky winner?
Our lucky winner is Mr. Andrew Armstrong.
All right.
All right. So, Andrew, we'll reach out to you through the email address that you submitted your suggestion through. And then once we have that, Kentucky Dave will get right on it.
It is sitting in my office, ready to be mailed. I just need a mailing address.
All right. So thank you for the topic suggestion, Andrew. And thanks to Mark Copeland again for offering the prize.
Yep.
And Andrew, we hope you get some inspiration from the Mighty 8th Air Force book.
Yep.
Well, Dave, we had a blast at the National Convention, and we talked to a lot of cool people at the table, away from the table, but we did get 5 segments in, man. We did pretty good.
We did, and the funny thing is, you and I, folks behind the scenes, Mike and I talk constantly about what's working, what it doesn't work, what we like to try, et cetera, et cetera. And before the convention, we had actually come to the conclusion that we were probably going to focus a little less on doing interviews at the show and doing a little more scouting and other stuff. But it turned out that even though we had not planned it, we got some really good interviews at the show.
We did. We took Thursday off to kind of scout things around. We didn't do any recording on Thursday. We had a lot of chit chat at the table and on the show floor and convention halls, and we ended up doing most of it Friday.
Yep.
The second day, and we picked up 2 more on Saturday. So we did 3 on Friday, 2 on Saturday,
and an important one on Saturday.
2 important ones on Saturday, yes. Actually. But we got some good stuff. So enjoyed talking to all these people.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, the first segment we got, and we had to interview the guy after we saw the name of his business.
Yep.
It's going to be Jay Chadwell from Mojo Model Works.
Yep.
No affiliation.
No affiliation, but a camaraderie nonetheless.
Yes, other than a new friend.
Yes.
So let's see what Mr. Chadwell had to say from Mojo Model Works. Dave, we're always looking for something interesting that's kind of off the beaten path, what we normally see with all the plastic kits and paints and stuff. And coincidentally, we're Plastic Model Mojo, and we have Mojo Model Works here, Mr. Jay Chadwell. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
We're real good. We cruised by you, and some things caught my eye because I recognized all your subjects almost immediately. I want you to tell us a little about what kind of things you're working on.
We've got some of the Indiana Jones kit, the heavy metal movie kit, so stuff that I grew up watching.
Okay.
Stuff that I grew up, all signs of my misspent childhood.
The Black Hole robot, is that right?
Yeah, Bob from the Black Hole. Pretty much anything that I wanted to build, if I saw a gap in production, that nobody else was making those things, I would spend the time to design it.
How long have you been doing this as a business?
So 6 years.
Okay.
This started out of necessity in the middle of the COVID shutdown.
Okay.
We're right there with you.
Yeah. So I was a graphic designer. I have a background in graphic design, and I did a lot of restaurant work. And of course, they took a big hit. I shifted gears, and I was already a model builder.
Okay.
So I got into 3D design and haven't looked back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it as a business for
6 years. Yeah.
But were you a modeler before then?
Yeah. I mean, well, I was a model builder as a kid, and then like a lot of us, I took a big break.
Yeah.
And
cars and women. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We get a little sidetracked, don't we?
Yep.
So, yeah, I found my way back, and apparently at the right time. The things that are available to do with like the 3D printing technology, and I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And if you can think it, you can make it.
Now, do you do masters and resin cast? Do you do 3D print? Do you do a mix?
Yeah, so everything I do is 3D printed.
Okay.
And I start with, it's whatever I think of, I start with the research, and whether it's sci-fi or I'm close enough to the Air Force Museum, I've done some of that stuff out there, and I'll gather materials.
I love the GAL 8 cannon that you made from the A-10.
Yeah, that
Gorgeous.
was a favorite. So the A-10 is a favorite of mine. The plane and I are around the same age, and they keep trying to retire the plane, and it drives me crazy. I think it's hilarious that it keeps coming back. But yeah, the GAL 8 kit was something that I made multiple trips to the Air Force Museum, and I got to actually talk with some guys in model groups that maintained those weapon systems, and so they helped me they checked my work as I was designing that. So that was a 6-month process, and work in Blender.
Okay.
If people are familiar with the software, it's a free software. I encourage anybody, if they're thinking about 3D printing, they're thinking about, well, I can't model, I don't know how to use the software. There's a software called Tinkercad, and I encourage people to start there, because the one thing this hobby has taught me that there's always new stuff to learn.
Yeah.
And I want people to feel like they can tackle that.
No, I've not messed with Blender. I'm more of a Fusion 360 guy because
Yeah.
I'm doing more. Blender's really good for organic shapes, and traditional CAD's typically not. Can be done. It's just a lot
It's
harder.
tough, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's interesting because you've got a lot of, well, like the Bob, it's round and the dome top and probably lend itself really well to that.
I'm definitely a stronger hard surface modeler.
Okay.
And for instance, with the Bob kit, very geometric, but then he's beat up.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then you go in from the hard surface modeling into digital sculpting to kind of provide the dents and the dings and all that.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you've been doing this for 6 years as a business. I take it the business, since I see you at shows like the National, and you've been here a number of years, I take it the business has grown well.
The business is growing steadily.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming, and just kind of where I'd like it to stay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And actually, I'm super excited. This is my first time at Nationals.
Okay.
Now I've been at some other big shows. Wonderfest is one of my favorites.
That's where I see you all the time. Is Wonderfest.
Absolutely, and do a lot of local shows.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where are you out of?
Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So I've got an online presence, and I send things all over the world, but just one guy in Columbus, Ohio.
Now, do you have your own website, or do you vend off of Facebook or something like that?
So I have a website. It's mojomodelworks.com.
Okay.
And then that goes to, there's an Etsy storefront that I utilize for sales.
Okay. Well, we're in Region 4 out of Louisville.
Yeah.
So we are. So
we're neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We've not been to Columbus in a couple of years. At least I haven't. Do you set up at that show?
Yeah, the BlizzCon is every February.
Yeah.
Right.
And the last couple of years I've been there.
Yeah, I didn't make it last year, but I saw you there the year before.
Yep, a great show, great venue. Yeah.
And I've got to think you do great at Wonderfest. I mean, your stuff.
I'll be honest, those are kind of my people. It's it's kind of an offbeat,
quirky
vibe for sure.
It is.
It's like Comic-Con meets scale modeling is kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
But they are all great people, and man, they are fans. So when you do something that they're really into, they'll talk your ear off if you.
Well, and you can see them from across the room.
Yes,
like
they light up.
They see it. They didn't know it existed, and they got to have it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you got to get it right too, because that level of fandom knows when you've done something incorrectly.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
That's part of what I love about it.
Yep, and they'll let you know it.
Yep, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Is there anything up and coming you could disclose comfortably at this point, or?
Oh, I keep a list. I've got a list of ideas.
Okay.
And if something keeps piquing my interest, it gets moved into the officially a project list.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I've got a lot of things coming up, some real space stuff, some space shuttle, NASA crawler, launch platform type things.
Okay.
And sci-fi, I've got a list as long as my arm.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's just the perfect time with Star Trek anniversary this year,
Right.
Star Wars next year.
Yeah.
And sci-fi is
and
just
the space
taking
program
off.
as good as it's been since the 60s.
Oh,
Probably.
it's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Yes,
all
it
of
is.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Jay, thanks for talking to us.
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Glad to help promote you. You had some cool stuff, and I'm sure we'll see you around if you're in Region 4 of the IPMS.
We'll see you at Wonderfest next year for sure.
For sure. And Huntsville.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was fun seeing all the stuff he had, and you could just recognize all of it.
Yes.
I like the Indy tank because I've got an issue of, can't remember what it was in. It's either AFV or maybe MMIR. I can't remember. Somebody had built that thing from the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the big World War looking tank that was actually a complete fantasy job built up for the movie.
Yep.
So he's got a lot of interesting things.
He does, and he's got a lot of stuff planned.
He does, and he's in our region, so we might run into Jay again.
Yep. Well, he shows up at Wonderfest every year as well.
All right. Maybe we'll see him there.
Yep.
Plastic Model Mojo is brought to you by Model Paint Solutions, your source for Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes, David Union power tools, and laboratory-grade mixing, measuring, and storage tools for use with all your model paints, be they acrylic, enamels, or lacquers. Check them out at www.modelpaintsolutions.com.
Well, Dave, you know all the fun I had building my catapult float plane, my E-16.
Yes.
You know I've got my eyes on some other projects.
Yes. Catapult related.
Some of them have ship turrets involved. They all involve catapults and float planes. There was an entry at the convention that was a USS Texas turret.
Yeah.
And that model had been built by Mr. Randy Chisholm from Texas. And we had him by the table to have a chat about what it was like to do that kind of project and just generally about projects like that. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you got anything out of it or not.
Yeah.
I hope so.
No, it was great.
All right. Well, let's get into that one, man. Dave, we've had a listener suggestion that we go out and find some things that we like, that we were interested in, and maybe talk about that more than, some of our more typical vendor interviews.
Sure.
And cottage industry interviews. And out on the show floor, the kind of stuff I've been gearing up to build and I've built recently. Well, there's a turret and catapult and float plane out there, USS Texas, I believe.
Yes.
With a Kingfisher on it, circa 1943.
42,
probably right before they took the thing off the turret.
August 42.
We have the builder here with us, thanks to the cell phone numbers on all the entry forms, and he's gracious to come by the table.
I like that idea.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Randy Chisholm. I live in Bryan, Texas.
Okay, another Texan. We just had a Texan here, brought us some bourbon from Austin.
Oh, yeah.
So now, are you in a club down there? Or
yes.
What's the?
It's where we're transit, but Aggieland Model Clubs.
Okay.
Aggieland. You know Don Gilman?
Yes.
Okay.
He lives like 2 blocks away from
Oh, really?
Well, Don's bringing me some beer, so I'm not gonna, he does some fantastic homebrew beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does. Well,
it's always a good thing to fall back on.
Yeah.
I've recently I've got a sub stash, more of a 35th scale armor guy.
Yeah.
But I built a lot of naval aviation when I was a kid, and I've kind of got back into it. My first aircraft in 30 years was a Aichi E-16 Paul.
Right.
That put on a little tower catapult. The kit came with the catapult, but I built a tower for it and came out really nice. Probably should have made my first airplane in 30 years a float plane. That was probably not wise. But all that to say that catapult launched float planes, flying boats, even some deck launched planes, that part of the naval warfare aviation has always been of interest to me. So I've got plans to do like the Scharnhorst aft turret with the Orado 196 on it.
Yeah.
And then just about anything on some of the Navy catapults to U.S. Navy. I've got what's the Loire
130.
Loire 130. I finally found this obscure French company that they're out of business now. In fact, the joker took my money when I tried to order it.
Right.
But somebody was at a shop in the Netherlands and they have a secondhand section and found this kit for me. And it's a big turret, not turret, but a
catapult.
It's on a barbette, just a circular barbette that will turn on.
Pedestal.
Pedestal, and it's a French catapult.
Oh.
Photo etch catapult, resin pedestal, all that. But anyway,
multimedia,
and I've got other float planes in my collection, and more of these cruiser and ship or battleship type turret launches. When they were doing that, really interest me. So immediately, your Texas turret, I walk by like, okay, we got to find this guy and talk to him.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to do. So how did you get down that avenue of interest?
Well, I like the Texas. I've been going back and forth if I was going to build a scratch build of a Texas, something larger than the 350 that's offered by trumpeters.
Yeah.
It has its issues, but it's just the scope of work. I've been gathering a lot of stuff on the Texas. I mean, this is just a side shoot of it. And I said, I'd like to do I think it'd be cool just to do a Texas turret. And I had some drawings when I was doing all the research from the museum. Back then it was at in the San Jacinto Battleground, LaPorte. That's where the Texas was sitting. That's where they kept all the records. Now I can't tell you where. I think Texas Parks and Wildlife has got the records, I believe. It's not.
And the ship's in dry dock, right?
Oh, not anymore. No,
did they
came
get
out.
it out?
Yeah. It's I can't remember what pier. It's near Pier 51, but it's in Galveston.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll see it there.
So you can go down and.
I don't know if it's open yet.
Okay.
Officially, there's a Facebook Texas.
Yeah. That's recent restoration, right?
Yeah.
To make it.
They did mostly under. They needed it because the torpedo bulge. They're not made for long term. They're just made to explode a torpedo. So they were like really thin metal to begin with.
Okay.
And the way they're shaped, I did the dry dock tour. It's kind of cool. And so they basically, it tapers at the bottom on a torpedo bulge, if you notice. And so it's really hard from a museum standpoint to maintain all that. And so they had to make, you don't see it in the water. So they just pretty much chopped it off for like, let's just say 3 feet horizontally. And so now some people can get down there and they can actually maintain and keep the rust, rust abated and stuff. Before it was like it came down to a point per se. And you can't really get down in those spaces and maintain it.
So other than the aircraft, everything else is scratch built.
Yes, in this day and time, I had I don't know if you plug companies or not. Or,
we don't mind.
Yeah, there's a guy named Model Monkey, Steve Larson.
Yeah. He's North Carolina.
I think, yeah. I'm trying to remember what state he was.
Because he's the guy I was trying to get him to blow up one of his other turrets to a bigger scale.
Yeah, well, see, that's before Shapeways closed up, and so I gave him the plans, and he says I don't have the skill, I'm not my part of my life, not yet. I can give you the data in the farm, and rather than me, I'm more than willing to get the plastic up and start doing it myself. But I like uniformity, like turret, the barrels and stuff. I've turned barrels before,
right?
And so I says, can you do it? And he says, sure. So in that sense, it's scratch built in the sense that
gotcha.
Because since then he doesn't have a printer bed size big enough to do that anymore. So he quit doing the 1/72 scale stuff. That's a big turret.
Yeah.
A big piece of resin. So, but I think there's another guy, D. Stefan.
He was mostly through Shapeways.
Yeah,
before.
But he has his own website now and better printers. And
that's the big thing, because the Shapeways stuff I never really liked.
It was,
like fuzzy and
it was ish
brittle. It was like in the infancy of, and like it was comical if you got. I was trying to get figures that one of the artists, designers offered, and because they were the printing service, and the stuff was so brittle. I was trying to do it. I had an Arizona that I built. It was in Madison, Wisconsin. I was trying to put people on that thing, and every time you try to take it off the little tree or whatever you want to call it, I had all these amputees, sailors. I said, this ain't not working. So it was kind of a holdup. You're doing parallel work when you're doing on a ship model.
Yeah,
you try to do as much as you can up to a certain point, working parallel.
How long did the project take you from beginning to end?
Back to the turret. It's how long it took versus how much bench time I had.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I feel you, brother.
It's a scratch build, so it's what you see is not the first and only version. I'll just say that.
Okay.
So it's trial and error. My plans I had a general structural of just the girder work, and through research and looking into it, that is a P4. P means powder. And then you have Americans had hydraulic, or compressed air. I'm sorry, compressed air, not hydraulic. And so you had P4, P6s. You'll see those like fantail on, but even your P6s from a fantail of like the Iowa to a P6 on a cruiser, they're different. The mechanics, and it's not really the girder work, which are different, but it's also it's really the mechanics of
firing mechanism and all that.
So, it's what's unique is that the Texas and the New York, the namesake of the class, their catapults are the same.
Okay.
You can't say that for the Pennsylvania and the Arizona. They're structurally two different. Mechanically they're the same, but structurally, outwardly, there's little nuances that you look at. So
it's all good to know for me.
Yeah. So
was it hard to get the reference for all this?
Yes, there's no reference.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've run into.
The plan sets on those was a original plan set of like 3 sheets, but they're like recovered off the sunken ship or something. They were really crappy. They were scanned. They're PDFs. Thankfully somebody scanned them in, and then somebody had redrawn a CAD. I can't credit who drew it, but they're good. They're spot on. I checked his measurements or her or whoever drew it to the actual drawings. You can kind of make it out. And so all there's hard dimensions that you need, and then it's all pure photos.
Okay.
And since the benefit of being in New York / Texas, that the girder work is pretty much the same. There's little things that the New York tweaked, in her life, on that thing that they didn't on the Texas. Now those little braces and stuff. And there's another modeler up in, I can't remember his name. He's up in Dallas area.
Okay.
And he brought. I understand he was at the. Yeah, he went to Virginia. I didn't go last
Hampton.
year. Yeah. And he brought the New York with the 3 planes on it.
Yes, I remember that one.
And we had been detailed. And so I thought this is weird that 2 of us started, and he does more turrets than I do. So so we just exchanged, ideas and stuff. And like it's weird how we were all both tracking on the design of the mechanics.
Close behind you guys. So maybe we're going to swap some contact information here when we're done.
It's really the mechanical part of how the dang thing. You learn how the catapult works when you build, especially scratch build. It's tough scratch building because you're translating with the pitch and you got to have calipers. Just space. You have a given length and you say, okay, the girders, it's open. It's all pretty much all plastruct.
Okay.
The actual girder work, and pretty much all of it is all plastruct. Very little brass. Some brass like brass wire for the tubing.
Okay.
Rivets was the Archer fine transfers.
Okay.
They do railroad. Rivets are rivets, and so you're just looking for spacing, and you're trying to find the rivet patterns on those. It's still on the gussets and everything else on the braces and all that stuff. But that it's hard. The difficulty was trying to get it because you're trying to break it down to where you just like finish as much as you can before you mount it on the turret. And so you're trying to get it all spaced right, that right level and everything else, and it was hard. Keep my language clean, but it was interesting because you had these braces that it actually hooked up to, and they all there's three-dimensionally they all had to match up because it's really open, and so it had to be the right angle. And can't be,
can't be twisted or
can't be let your y-axis
or what,
your x and y-axis and your so scratch building. I love scratch building. I love the challenge. It's so neat. It's so neat. The satisfaction is this thing never existed in before I built it. That's where I get the pleasure of scratch. I love doing plastic, and I'll do plastic, and a trumpeter. If you buy a trumpeter and you want accuracy. I know there's a debate on accuracy, but if you want it anywhere, 99% of the people will not even care and see it when they finish an out of a box model.
Yeah.
But if here we are, we're kind of fanatics about
right, and we all have our own
niches,
pet projects, and things like that.
Somebody could tell me how many rivets are on an F4. But nothing wrong with that. I mean, but whenever you start to scratch build, it takes it beyond the modeling. It's true for me. It's I get the joy of it.
Well, cool.
But trumpeter units inherent, and that's a major. And by the way, that's a major 1-2. I do scale 1/200. Not so much. They do 1/350, but I don't do too much 350. It's just,
okay.
Because to me, the 1/200 it range. I said it's 1/200 or 1/192nd. It pops for me. You can put it's the right balance of it's putting enough detail into it, because the larger scales are great. But the responsibility of the modeler is to put more detail in it.
Yeah,
it's like zooming in on the Earth. How much can you see? And then you zoom in on the scale of the Earth is what's scale. And then you zoom into your house and say, now you can see your doorknob now. So it's that balance. I think I like 1/200. Now, when you start getting into bigger ships, space is a problem for displaying.
Right.
So do you have a project going on right now?
The hood, yeah, it's a trumpeter hood.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the Brits, there's like lots of issues with that. Especially, there's a good British, I would say I don't say podcast, but he has his own YouTube, and he's really great. It's called the Model Shed.
Yeah.
The Model Shed, and it's a British guy, and he does all these different models, but he had for naval. He did of course, the hood, and then he also did the Bismarck. But it's all step side. He interlaces it with Pontos, which is. If you can get through a Pontos hood photo etch, you can get through it. Because I'm contemplating the next project being a Yorktown, World War II, Midway. There's more, and I based on there's more information available for Midway than it was. I was going to do it Coral Sea prior to going to Coral Sea, but and I couldn't really get a definitive any air, and it's still I'm not ready to start it. So there's she came back from Midway. And she got a lot more anti-aircraft, namely, I think 50. I think she was supposed to lose the 50s and get more 20s. They got the 20s, and then they didn't take off the 50s. So I don't know how they adjusted. There's like There's more questions, and because if I'm going to put it on the platform of it's got to be right. It's just,
right.
It's not.
Well, that's an aspect of ship modeling that I think a lot of folks don't realize, that it's especially if you had a ship that was never sunk. Right.
Yeah.
It's got a long service life. Well, for World War II, it was there from maybe it existed before the war, and it was there still around at the end. Well, it may have been refitted a time or two.
Correct. Yes.
Or it may have been battle damaged and sections of it rebuilt.
Paint's gonna be different.
So it's got to be.
Yeah. That's when she was doing Atlantic convoys.
Okay.
When you spoke about when she lost her aircraft is prior to D-Day.
Okay.
They took it off because it would have beat the catapult to death.
Yeah.
And so I think the squadrons aren't part of the ship's crew. They're attached to the ship. So the squadrons, I think, I want to say they got to fly Spitfires.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't swear by that. I wouldn't say that in court, but it's an interesting story that where they got dispersed while they're doing it. Now, as soon as D-Day was over and the operation down south in France, she got her catapult because there's pictures of her.
Okay.
In the Pacific with her.
I just assumed it got removed completely because so many of them did on other nations' ships.
Oh yeah. After she was demilled, or I would say after she was.
Well, I
retired out of the
have
military.
to wonder how robust those things were if those guns were getting used very much.
Well, yeah,
nothing's
robust when those guns start firing.
Yeah, so maybe it wasn't a great place to keep an airplane.
It's like for Texas. I understand that thing was built. It's like a World War I, 1914 when it was launched. So it's certainly World War I. So it's kind of like after. So aircraft is kind of an evolution kind of thing.
Cool.
Sure.
They only got one catapult. Like most of your later pre-war battleships got two. Like one on the Fanta, like the Arizona, say, or something.
Okay. Any plans to do any others?
Catapult? If I do one that's more feasible, that you perked my interest because I had seen that, but I said, I don't know. But I said, that's that. I was looking at pictures last night. I confess. I said, this doesn't look very hard. After doing the Texas, I was like, this is kind of easy. But I might do, and I think the guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember this guy's name. You can do it on a post interview. I can give you the name. I think he was going to also do a Texas turret. The first flight was it McDonald, the pilot? Make something. I think I want to say McDonald. I might be mistaken, but he did the first flight off of a battleship.
Okay.
Aircraft off of a battleship. That was the USS Texas. There was a lot of firsts for Texas. First one with anti-aircraft guns.
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that either.
I think first with maybe radar, and I believe first flight, and I think radar. I think I can't remember. There's a lot of weird little firsts for you don't hear about.
Okay.
Something like she was a test bed or something. I don't know.
That's really interesting.
But my next one would probably be the platform, the fly-off platform.
Okay.
It's the first flight, and it had it was number 2 turret. And, they rigged up like a platform off of it.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't a Newport. It was a Sopwith. Sorry, which one blank.
Cool. Well, that'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll see that sometime in the future.
Yeah, that'd be one.
Listen, thanks for sharing about your model.
Sure.
Thanks for coming by and working this out with us. And we'll get this one on probably our first episode after we get back from Nationals. Get this put together. We'll have several other interviews, and you're going to be part of it.
Cool.
Pleasure to meet you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
That was fun. I'm going to be in contact with him shortly and see what else. And maybe he knew somebody else too. So who knows where this might go.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to do an entire series of the late 30s and early 40s U.S. battleship turrets with the different catapults.
You and me both, but that's going to be a lot of work, man.
You just crank those out as a side project, right?
I don't know. Some of those are pretty dedicated projects, man.
I'm kidding.
I know you are, but well, I'm already in the rabbit hole. Just gotta. Sunlight's still coming. It's coming down. I'm not down that far yet, but
you'll get there.
It's going to get dark.
Baby. It's
going to get dark, and I'm going to turn on my own light and keep on going down the rabbit hole. I thought it was interesting that he was friends with Don Gilman.
Yes.
And both from that Texas area down there, College Station, I think. And that was just because then Don came out and was talking about beer. So
yes. In fact, Don was standing behind him for part of the interview.
For scale modelers, Bases by Bill is the name in innovative display solutions. Whatever the project, whatever the scale. Want the custom touch? Bases by Bill offers hardwood bases finished with engraved or full-color placards, your text, unit emblems, and national insignia, the finishing detail that gives your aircraft, armor, or ship a unique display. And now the entire simple base range of bases is available with both circular and square hardwood holders. A polished classic look that frames your model beautifully from every angle. Base styles include World War II American and Japanese wooden carrier decks, American CVN decks, concrete airfields, and Soviet-era Hex and PAG-14 tarmacs. With contest and show season here, Bases by Bill can also craft your club's major awards, plus 1, 2, 3, or gold, silver, bronze. A wide range of styles and options are perfect for clubs of any size and budget. Visit basesbybill.com because there's always something new at Bases by Bill.
Dave, this interview came to be because Brandon Lowe suggested we talk to this person.
Yep. And it turned out to be quite a shock once we did.
It did. I almost feel set up like he knew something that we didn't. So we'll sort that out at a later time with Brandon. But they're right next to us. I mean, literally if we're facing the table, across our table, literally to our left, there was a television screen that he was running some stuff on, Brandon was, and there's some models in front. And then next to that, on the next table, was the B-24 built up from the kit exclusive.
Right.
The Dragon and its tail, B-24 Liberator. And they were built by modeler Keith Zimmerman, who we got a chance to talk to.
And I got to say, it was great.
It was. Let's see what Keith had to say, man. But Dave, we'd never know. Well, we had no idea where all this squadron thing was going to go. And we got a really nice spot in the squadron corral. And we've got Keith Zimmerman. Is that right?
Yeah.
Keith Zimmerman here is actually, coincidentally, through squadron, we've come together and realized he's from our own backyard. You belong to our club, but you're like me, you're kind of absentee.
Yeah. The meetings are always falling on when I'm at work or it's just too late. So
too far to drive.
Yeah. Now, you live in LaGrange, right?
Yeah, LaGrange.
Okay. You're about 12, 15 miles from my house.
Yeah,
so
small world.
It is.
Small world, but your small world's big in building some big planes for our host here, Squadron. How'd you get into that with those guys?
Yeah, so whenever I started modeling, I just was like most modelers, built in my room, just something to do on my own, then progressed to forums. Then after forums, I saw people posting on social media. So then I sort of like got into that, into like the social media modeling. I run a channel called Green Creations. And from there, I was posting on there for a few years. And, after a while, I was like, well, what's like next? Like, is it just posting on social media? So I sort of thought about like what else I could do. And that led me into like wanting to maybe do like articles or magazines for, some of the different publishers. And I had talked to Brandon and Jeff before from Squadron. So I reached out to Brandon and asked if he has any kind of connections with any of the publishers or magazines to see, if he had any fillers or anything like that. So he had let me know that they were thinking about kicking their flyer or magazine back into high gear. So I was like, well, hey, let me compose some of my forum posts into articles for your magazine. And I did that for a few months. And after, it seemed like it was pretty successful. All of his customers seemed to enjoy them. He let me know about the upcoming Dragon His Tail exclusive. And I agreed to build it for him and provide him with a big article about it. And that's how I got here.
It's clear you're a very talented modeler. Just a hobby for you? The way you got into it, just to relax and enjoy history or whatever?
Yeah, so sort of my origin, it's funny, I was just like staying up late on like a Saturday night and like Plasmo, the YouTube modeler would come on. I'm like, what's this? I didn't know like it's like a thing that people really did. So I started watching some of his content, and then I started watching Night Shift and the other modelers. Then Plasmo eventually built a Gundam, and I was like, that seems like a pretty easy way into modeling. And this was like maybe 2016, 2017. So I watched him build that and all the other airplanes, and he had built an F-18. I think it was a 172 scale, and I was like, that is a real F-18 that he's made. And I was like, I just want to do this. So having seen all of his stuff up until then, I was like, I'll buy me a Gundam. And that's where it all began. I built like 3 or 4 Gundams, then bought a Airfix P-40. And I was like, I think planes are what I like more than Gundams, especially with painting and taking apart and all the stuff that goes along with
That's an interesting entry point story, though.
Yeah, that
really
is.
Yeah. So what all have you built? All these yours down here next to us?
Yeah, all of those are mine.
Okay. Do you have any on the contest tables?
No, I would love to enter some things into the competition, but I'd really just like to get out of here a little early tomorrow.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
It is a drawback for people who need a travel day sometimes.
Yeah, and
so
I've
we
got
understand that.
2 little kids and work and, real life waiting for me back at
Right.
home, so.
And an understanding wife that is so understanding, but not.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Everybody's
got to
got
make
their limits.
accommodations.
Yeah, and my son's all into it. He was here yesterday walking around all excited about the planes and the models, and got him a few, like the Tamiya dinosaur, the snap kit.
Oh,
so,
that's great.
yeah, he's into all of it as well, so it's been pretty fun.
Listen, if you can get the next generation involved, that's a win in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anything to get people off of screens and like doing something with their hands and, some of like the research that goes along with it. And, I think it just helps in all different aspects.
Now, I notice with your models, you've got a wide variety of aircraft, jets, World War II. Do you have a favorite era or?
So I'd say over the past year or so, I think I've come to like the Vietnam era the most out of aircraft. And that's just because I feel like they're just so dirty and rugged, and there's all these pipes and wires and knobs and gauges, just like the most amount of stuff going on whenever you move past the Vietnam era, especially into the most recent generation of jets. So it's like sort of plain and like it's a couple screens. The bombs are all hidden. And, I started with World War II because I do really like World War II, but you take any 148 World War II aircraft and, a couple weeks if you're like really getting into it every day, but you can't really do that with a jet because jets just have, by the time you do all the stencils and ordnance, it's just so different. Like one of my friends once equated World War II to like building a classic, like a muscle car,
right?
Where building a jet is like building a race car or like a sports car.
And interesting analogy, yeah.
Yeah, so I sort of saw where he was coming from, and I agree.
Well, how was the Liberator build?
Well, I did it in 2 months, so it was kind of stressful as far as getting it done in time. I got it in May, and I had it done.
Now, which kit is
by
it?
July. It's the Hobby Boss 148 B-24J Liberator.
Okay, but it's in Squadron show markings for the show exclusive, right?
Yeah, it's the show exclusive Squadron, the Dragon and his tail limited edition box.
Okay, cool.
With the kit, I used a lot of the Edward parts, like the tires, superchargers, just all like the detail parts. Mm-hmm. The kit itself, has most things that you would need. You really don't need a lot of that stuff. I just was just going overboard and loading and packing it up as much as I could. But overall, I'd say it was pretty fun build. The only reason I had not built something like that before is just space at my house.
That's a very complex set of markings. Mm-hmm. How'd the decals work out for you? Did you encounter any problems laying them down or?
So with the build, I did like a quick synops recap, YouTube video, after I did the decals. That way I had the fresh memory of what I did to let people know that are going to be doing it themselves. But from what I remember, the Hobby Boss decals are very thin, which obviously everybody wants thin decals, especially for an aircraft. But having a thin decal
usually
it's more likely to rip and tear.
Especially some that I'm sure those are quite large.
Yeah,
some of them.
And the decal itself comes in 3 sections from Squadron. So you sort of apply the front where the dragon's head is and the woman first. The major obstacle with that section is just making sure the horns and the hair don't flip backwards. So I just did everything in my power to envision what it was going to be like before I did it and thought through the process before actually dipping it in water. And since it's such a large decal, I coated the entire front of the aircraft and the back as well, but specifically the front with a lot of water. And the adhesive that Hobby Boss uses on their decals is pretty strong. So even with all that dilution, it's still stuck just fine.
What are you working on now?
So whenever I started this, I had 3 ongoing projects. One of them is for a Squadron, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Okay.
And then the other 2, I'm doing an A-10C, and it's going to be, I'm working with Two Bobs, the decal manufacturer, as well as ResKit. So they sent me some stuff in collaboration. So I'm building that. Then I'm also building an EA-18G Growler Mings kit, in which everything I'm doing right now will be in Epic Fury markings. So all these decal manufacturers have Epic Fury stuff coming out. Yeah. So I thought it would just be cool. Of those 3, I'm the most excited for the Growler because there was a picture taken of a growler with 4 anti-radiation missiles on it, which is sort of like a callback to like the Vietnam, like Wild Weasel era.
Yep.
And I was like, if they have that on a growler, like that's just so cool to me. Like I love Vietnam era stuff, and if it's going to be on a more modern jet, like I have to do it. So that decal's coming out. I already have everything else except for the decal, and the jet's in paint now, so it'll hopefully be my next thing done.
Fantastic.
Outside of Squadron's publications, do you have an active YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel, but it's not really like my primary source of content. Like I upload some of like my shorts. I'll just, take them off Instagram or Facebook and just paste them there.
What's the name of it?
It's Green Creations. Creations with a K at the beginning and a Z at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a callback to my name. My name's Keith Zimmerman, so KZ. I'd say my primary source of content is Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, cool.
The young kids.
All right. Well, let's get back to your day, man.
Yeah,
it's
nice talking to you guys.
And it's great to meet you here. And we have this thing with Brandon now in common. And
awesome.
It's really cool. And you're not that far away, so hopefully we'll see you again.
Small world, for sure, guys. Yeah, nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sometimes this world is...
Yeah.
What would we say? Super small. I'm at a loss for words.
Well, I'll tell you what was funny is all 3 of us belong to MMCL, the local club here in Louisville. All 3 of us didn't recognize each other because we're all having trouble getting to meetings because of work and other stuff. And I mean, the funny thing is Keith lives less than 15 minutes down the road from me. So that's information that I'm certainly going to utilize in the future.
I'm going to ask Brandon if he knew that. I'm sure he knew it, but if he knew we didn't know it,
right?
I guess that's the. Whoops, sorry. That's the thing I want to ask because we have trouble getting to meetings, but I think we're in a bad habit.
Yeah,
I think. When I was coming to meetings, I had a job.
Yeah. Well, but keep in mind, when you were coming to meetings on the regular, you had either no kids or
no
one
wife.
very small kid.
Yeah. So, that's kind of when it started going off the rails for me after the first kid came along because it's an hour drive for me to our clubhouse where we have the meetings. So
well, and you just shipped one off to college or out of the house to college, and I'm shipping one off to college this week. And so who knows, maybe that will affect our ability to get to the club meetings.
Well, this discovery gives us a chance to tighten up things with the MMCL, which we may do during the model show spotlight.
Yep.
And with Keith, because he's a fantastic modeler, and it just stinks he's not a regular at the meetings because
he's got a lot to teach.
I always thought member Dave Crouch was always unassuming.
He is.
Just a super guy.
Yeah.
Humble.
Right.
Modest.
You wouldn't know that he was a super talented
model. You didn't know he could model circles around just about everybody else in the club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No. He never made that known to anybody or whatever. He never boasted or bragged about it. He was good.
Yeah.
And he did planes and he did NASCARs for a while. And then still came back and doing planes, I guess, too. But Keith reminds me a lot of Dave.
He does. You're right. He does a lot.
Plastic Model Mojo is brought to you by Squadron. Head on over to squadron.com for the latest in kits and accessories, all at a great price and with great service. Check out their wide selection of kits and supplies, including a growing range of Squadron's own line of paints and 3D printed kits and accessories. Mark your calendar for April 2nd through April 4th, 2027, and join Squadron and the Chattanooga Scale Modelers at the Chattanooga ModelCon Eagle Quest 2027. Squadron, adding to the stash since 1968.
Mike, speaking of Squadron, we have to give Brandon huge credit for this next interview. I cannot say enough about how kind Brandon was to set us up with this interview and how kind the folks were to talk with us.
That's right. And those folks you're referring to are Wojciech Buchach and Marcin Czapierski from Arma Hobby.
Notice how I let you do those pronunciations.
I hope I got them right, but I tried.
You did well.
All right. Well, folks, this was a really interesting conversation because it just kind of got into the minutia of being a modeler.
Oh, gosh, it did.
And they were super fabulous to talk to and really kind. And Brandon helped us get this one going. And because they were hosting Arma.
Yes.
And Airfix. They were there in part due to Squadron's behalf. And this went really cool. And I really like these guys and hope we get to talk to them more here in the future. But let's hear what they had to say right now.
Yeah.
David, this is amazing. We have two representatives from probably
our favorite model company.
Our favorite one of our current favorite model companies, especially in the scale you like and I'm liking now, 1/72nd scale. They do some 1/48 scale as well. But it's the representatives from Arma Hobby from Poland. Gentlemen, thank you for sitting down with us. It's a real pleasure to have you here. We've certainly enjoyed your releases over the last few years. They're all really, really nice.
It's very nice to be here with you.
Thank you.
To hear such kind words from you, that speaks something for us.
Well, I think you've raised the expectations for 72nd scale modelers in particular, and I know your 48 scale kits are wonderful as well. But
and for me, this is most important because I'm 1/72nd scale modeler, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted for me and for other modelers.
I think it is like home cooking.
You
cook for yourself.
I'm for all the home cooking that he can do because you have taken 72nd scale to the next level.
It just happened.
No, I was about to ask. It didn't just happen. How did Arma start?
Many years ago, when I was in primary school.
Okay.
I go to the modeling club in the center of Warsaw.
Okay.
And there was one guy, a little strange, who started talking about Pacific War.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he told about Hellcats, carriers, and I was a kid in the sixth grade, and my eyes opened. I remember when I was making Matchbox Hellcat,
yeah,
and it was something.
Yes.
And then this guy disappeared. And the other instructors teach us how to build models, how to paint with brush, not without airbrush, because then we were kids. And finally, this guy came back. It was Wojtek. He's a few years older than me, and it was time he visited Australia. So this is the first time we met. It was a modeling club, so we met every week. We have some contests where we go in Poland, and we have many friends from this club. And after I finished high school, Wojtek was working in Mirage Hobby. Maybe you remember this
I remember
company
Mirage.
from Poland.
Yeah.
He started working there and asked me to help him in some projects. I started studying. I learned there in Mirage Hobby, I learned to 3D design.
Okay.
Because one guy was designing planes there, and I was sitting with him, showing him what to design, showing him documentation. So a few years in Mirage, I finished my studying, and then we thought, maybe we can make some company, especially when this was the time when 3D print started to show up.
Right.
It was still more expensive than now, but there was some ideas how to use it. I managed to learn 3D and 2D designing, so we started company. Firstly, it was Attack Squadron. Maybe you remember. We have few resin kits. The masters were made in 3D.
Okay.
It was so long ago. And step by step, we get to the moment where a plastic kit was possible to do. And this is the beginning of the Arma hobby.
I have a 72nd scale Hasegawa Wildcat with the attack hobby F4, F3 wings.
Yes, it was.
They were great. It was. You still had to do the work on the calendar, but it was so nice to be able to do that.
With drops, flaps, and etc.
It was first dash free wing correct available on the market.
Exactly. And that I loved the attack stuff when it was attack.
Yeah.
And then when you all started Arma or became Arma or however that happened, you all kept the level of quality and increased it that you had already set at attack.
But as soon as we started plastic, we recognized that designing plastic and designing resin kits takes maybe not the same but similar time.
Gotcha.
So we thought plastic kits is better business to do than resin. Especially, finally we could do some stuff that we really like, popular stuff. Not only some prototypes of Polish airplanes, but also mainstream models. But to get to this place, we know we have to learn many things about designing and producing plastic kits. So the line of learning wasn't easy. We started with easier subjects, Polish subjects, some area where we can learn a lot. And then
more error-proof subject.
Yeah. And
When
we know that we can make good quality, good lines, good details, good how to składalność.
I have a question. From Mirage to Arma, the quality is very different.
But I think this is
Many years
and technological improvement, because many models from Mirage, it was made by hand.
Hand and machine cut tools?
No, the electrodes. Electrodes were made by hand.
The general Polish industry evolved.
Okay.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you. It seems like modern-day Poland has a particular group of skilled individuals skilled in injection molding. Is there some reason that Poland seems to have some of the top quality in injection molding out there?
I think generally in engineering, we have so many well-educated people.
Gotcha.
And slightly more educated that industry needed.
Right.
And we lost so many abilities in injection molding due to some economic problems late 30 years. But at now in Poland they make so many small industry products. The home machinery.
Gotcha.
And so many automotive products for Germany.
Really?
So yes.
Car parts,
I did not know that.
So if you use BMW, probably seat, plastic, etc., are made in Poland.
Or design.
But it is not told, and I think we should cut it.
Well, we'll be happy to tell it here. That's great. But the first 72nd scale kit that Arma released that really drew my attention, I have bought the Polish aircraft, but the F4F was unbelievable. And how did you pick a Wildcat? You wouldn't think that would be the most natural subject.
Back to this Pacific War conversation
for me, it is,
as a kid,
very
right?
natural. Wildcat was, I think, my favorite airplane.
Gotcha.
And many times I built Hasegawa, beautiful kit, but also old and lacking interior. And I know what I want to do. And for example, first our model was FM2, and it was always the dreaming to make this all glossy blue Wildcats from the end of the war, from escort carriers, and it was impossible to do. And for me, it was that subject that I have to do. It was my passion. And then after FM2, we gone to Dash 4.
Right.
And in Dash 4, I was so concentrated on engine area to make all the air ducts or radiators inside wheel bay in this section of fuselage. Also engine. Maybe this project was a little too complicated, but I really wanted to make it. And finally, we get to this year when we made Dash 3, finally in plastic.
Yeah.
And I little change the philosophy behind this kit. A little less parts, a little easier to build, because I know that I really like Wildcat. I really love to make many of them.
Right.
Not to concentrate on only one perfect model, because there's too many fascinating variants of painting of this airplane, especially Wake Island, Coral Sea, beginning of 42. Yeah. So that's why this model is a little different designed, and also 3D printing changed so many. Because I know now that experienced modeler, first what would they do? They would take 3D printed engine with all the cables or the details. And in plastic, I will never have a possibility to make as much levels, a level of details. So that's why I little roll down the design of this airplane.
Well, your passion for the Wildcat shows in your kits. They are just some of the nicest models out there, and I just really, I'm like you. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Wildcat.
I added some sugar, some topping on this model, because I added wing pylons and something which is common seen before the war, the containers for training bombs. Never done before, and I think this is exactly what gives you the feeling of the Wildcat before the war.
Yep, I agree.
I'm excited for this Curtiss Hawk from that part of the war. Very, very favorite aircraft of mine. It seems like you a lot of the Pacific theater things. I know you have things you're working on that you probably won't disclose, and I understand that. But man, what were we talking about the other day? A TBD?
Yeah, somebody needs to
do a TBD.
A good TBD.
Devastator.
Okay, I don't know if it would sell so good, but with TBD you have everything similar to early Wildcats. You have yellow wings, you have all over gray.
Exactly.
You've got early war. So for me, this subject is also very good. Of course, I had Airfix old model.
Oh God.
But this is very hard. I don't know if it would be a good subject.
And
now.
It may not be. Maybe for you and me and him, it would be a good subject, but not the mass people.
Sometimes I feel that good model could make money because it is good model, not the perfect subject.
Right.
But if it is good quality, if it is easy to build, if it is easy to make collection with this, I think that even the little less known aircraft could be good.
Well, without asking you to tell us what you've got in the future, I will tell you that I cannot wait to see what you do next.
And I think that you will be really, really happy what we're cooking for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying your time at the show.
Yes.
And we appreciate you sitting down with us and having this conversation. It's been a real pleasure. Keep up the great work. Your kits are fabulous, and we cannot wait to see what you do next.
It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
It is wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, that one was fun, and those guys are modelers at heart for sure. And
that's the thing that I love the most about that interview. We're sitting down with folks who run a model company, and we try and be professional, and we try to run a professional ship, and we start talking with these guys, and within just a couple of minutes, it's like four modelers sitting around a table at a model meeting talking about cool model stuff.
Well, it was fun learning how that it came together.
Yes.
Marcin and Wojciech met in a model club.
Yep.
Wojciech kind of had a mentorship. I won't rehash the entire interview, and then he went away for a while, and he came back, and next thing you know, they're doing commercial stuff together. Was a really, really interesting story, and in the end, they end up being very generous to us, and we thank them for that. And hopefully, we get a chance to work for them some more going forward, because I really like what they're doing, and I like their kits.
Yep.
And they're kind of at the cutting edge of this, so hats off to them, man.
Yep.
Well, Dave, our final interview is with our host, Brandon Lowe, Squadron. We caught a few remarks from him on Saturday before we wrap things up, after we could pin him down a little bit. He's a busy man.
He was very busy. I cannot say enough about Brandon's kindness to us. He has done so much for us. We had the opportunity to be in his area with our table, and that provided us not only things like the interview with Arma, but the ability to talk with all the modelers lined up to purchase stuff from the Squadron area. We met a lot of folks who were listeners. We met a lot of folks who didn't know anything about Plastic Model Mojo, and it gave us an opportunity to kind of market ourselves. Brandon has just done a lot for us, and I can't thank him enough.
Well, Dave, we've had a blast, and we'd be remiss not to thank our host here, Brandon from Squadron. It's been just a blast hanging out back here, and we really appreciate it. You just can't imagine how great this has been for us to be back here watching all this go down, and we appreciate the hospitality you've extended us. So hopefully we return this somehow.
Well, you guys are great. It's been a real pleasure having you here in the booth. Just watching everybody coming over here, interacting with you guys, seeing you do the interviews. I saw you over here talking to Wojciech and Martin from Arma Hobby.
Yeah, they appreciate it a lot. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's just neat seeing. We hear you guys on your podcast all the time talking, but it's nice to put a name to a face or a face to a name, and see the guys behind the microphone. And I know you. We've met many times.
Right.
But all of these modelers here and friends and customers that come through that perhaps have got to meet you for the first time, it's just really cool seeing people come up, shake your hand, saying, "Hey, it's nice to meet you." So it's a good thing.
It is fun. I'm sure you get a lot of that too from customers walking in.
We do, and that's one of the cool things about coming to these shows is, in our case, we got these orders that come through our website, and you see these names of these people that are buying models, and then you come to the show and you look at their name tag and you recognize the name, and you get to meet somebody in person. It's a great thing.
Well, you've been busy. I mean, I think you've sold out on your RSOs, haven't you?
I think so. They took the sign down.
Looks like it. Okay. Yeah, I was upstairs for a few minutes, and I guess you're right. Yeah, the stack is gone. So, Tamiya's brand new tool, 35th scale RSO, complete sellout. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
If you said they had plenty, I'll come back on the last day and grab one. You
missed out.
Yep.
They got to wait for the general release now.
Yep, September 25th, general release for
any standouts this year for you guys? As far as, you got this down to science probably. You got your goons to help you out. And
Well, speaking of the goons, we do have a really, really good team. We brought a lot of guys from Ringgold, from the Chattanooga area, up here this time, more than we ever have. Guys and gals, can't forget Jackie. But we've got we're officially calling it the Squadron Road Crew now.
That sounds
and we've
about
got,
right.
I don't know, 5 or 10 guys that come from all over the country, and for the past few years they've been showing up to help us set up, and not just set up, but all throughout the show you'll find these guys cleaning up the stacks, organizing things.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really good. We can't do it without these guys, and I really appreciate everybody that pitches in to make this big Squadron booth happen.
What amazed me is, given the volume of people you've had moving through here, your checkout line has operated like clockwork. There was always a line, but it was moving quickly?
Well, we've been doing this for 20 years now, going to these shows, and every year we learn what works and what doesn't work. And the checkout line is, I think it was either last year or the year before, our system was not working like we wanted it to, and some guys were standing in line for over 30 minutes, and it was funny hearing some of the stories. Some of the guys were laughing about it, how awesome it was to stand in line for so long, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, we don't want you to have to stand in line. You've got other vendors to go see. You've got seminars. So this year, thankfully, we were able to work that out and get people through the line pretty quick.
Well, that's great.
Well, you got a show coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
What you can tell us about that? Have you furthered that cause since you've been here this week?
Yeah, a little bit. So ModelCon Eagle Quest in Chattanooga is April 2, 3, and 4 next year, the weekend after Easter. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the Downtown Convention Center. And now that we've got nationals behind us, we're going to start promoting that quite a bit, probably starting in September. But it's going to be really good. We've got 36,000 square feet set aside for the show. The vendors are all sold out, something north of 200 vendor tables. I think closer to 250 if I remember correctly.
Wow.
We've got a lot of awesome vendors coming, from all around the country. We've got some manufacturers coming. Tamiya is our title sponsor for the show. They'll be there. Companies like Atlantis are going to be there. You met Chris Stokes here from Airfix. Airfix is going to be there. Several other companies like that. We've got a lot of good, really great guys lined up to do seminars, such as Dana Bell.
Yeah.
He's going to be there talking about stuff. Dave says, I'm in. I'm there. But it's really, really shaping up to be a fantastic show. We're really looking forward to it. Eagle Quest, of course, was Squadron's show in Texas. Before that, it was MasterCon, VLS's show. And the Chattanooga Scale Modelers host ModelCon and have for many years. Well, when we brought Squadron to the Chattanooga area, it just made sense to hook up with the Chattanooga Scale Modelers and combine the two shows into one. And hopefully it's going to be really good. I understand that there's this certain podcast group that's going to be there, so that's probably going to make all the difference.
Yeah, that'll make all the difference. Yeah,
it will for us.
I will tell you, I've purchased things from several vendors who mention that they are going to your show and cannot wait. Very enthusiastic about it.
Right. Well, and you say my show, and it's not. I'm certainly a big part of that club down there. We've got, I don't know, a few dozen guys in our club, and everybody's pitching in and doing a great job to pull this thing off. And it's just really going to be a fantastic time. We're looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
What's left to do here today?
Well, we get the big push to tear down here in a couple of hours. Our semi-truck will be here to pick up what's left this evening, and as soon as they close up here, it's just a mad dash to pack everything up, wrap the shelves, and
you got a lot of stuff.
It's
you got less than you brought, unless you bought something.
We hope so. That's always the goal, but we always find that out. So we have a semi-truck, and we also have a 20-foot trailer, and we're hoping that the 20-foot trailer is empty. That'll lighten my load pulling it back to Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you again for letting us be a part of this, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely, we'd love to do it.
This has been
fantastic. The best experience I've ever had, and I've been to 31 or 32 nationals.
Okay.
It's by far the best experience.
Well, next year, Huntsville, Alabama, we'll do it again.
Yeah, that one's easy for us too.
Good. Well, let's plan to do this again. We'll put on a big spread for those guys.
We're already settled in for the April show. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. And again, I really appreciate you being here with us. It's been a fantastic week.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, you thanked Brandon ahead of this segment, and I was going to do it at the end, but I'm just gonna say, Brandon Lowe and all the guys and gals at Squadron, thank you so much for having us, and we really look forward to doing it again. So, cannot wait to our next opportunity, man.
Yep,
it's been a good ride so far.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we were remiss to not talk about what happened in the vendor room, Dave.
Do we have to?
We do. So, folks, you're going to want to hit pause. You're going to want to hit the restroom. You're going to want to grab a drink and maybe make yourself a sandwich because my co-host, Kentucky Dave, lost his ever-loving mind in the vendor room.
Guilty as charged.
Dave, what broke your wallet?
my broken brain broke my wallet. Mike, why don't you go refill your Russells?
I already did, man.
Okay.
Already did.
What broke my wallet? Well,
let me back up and say I greased the skids because about a week and a half before we went to the Nationals, we put in an order and had a bunch of stuff to bring you to the show.
Squadron order.
So aside from that stuff.
Okay. Well, we'll put that to the side because Mike showed up 9:00 on Wednesday evening with a lot of stuff. But one of the things he brought was a number of kits, 4 kits for me, and then one that I had gotten for Jim Bates. So in addition to that, where to start? Okay, let's start here. Edward.
Yeah, start there. That's the lion's share.
Yes. When Edward comes to the Nationals, in addition to bringing Profi packs and double kits and Royal class kits and all of this other stuff that they bring, their latest and greatest, etc., they bring their overtrees. And their overtrees are just boxes of the sprues. There's no instructions, no decals, no masks, nothing, no photo etch, etc.
No box art.
No box art. It's plain white box. Convinced my wife that I bought like 8 or 10 new shirts. Yeah. And it was just shirt because that's what they look like, is shirt boxes. And so they bring them and they sell them very inexpensively.
Because they're the cheapest part of a kit.
Yeah, exactly. Most people don't realize that. Most people do not realize that the sprues are actually the least costly thing in a model kit. And so basically for $8.50 or $8.75 for their 72nd scale ones, you can pick up pretty much one of everything they do in 72nd scale that they do for $8.75. It's a great way to get a backup kit if you've bought the regular boxing and all, and you know you want to do another one. And again, if you buy even if you don't have the decal collection I've got, if you buy the regular boxings, they come with multiple markings sets. So if you buy and build the regular boxing, you've got 3 other sets of markings and a set of instructions. All you need is the overtree to build another one. So I went in and I bought, I think 10 or 11 overtree kits. Basically, one of everything that they brought in 72nd scale that I did not already have an overtree of. BF-109K, ME-110F, MiG-21R, MiG-21 BIS, sorry. Oh, gosh. Oh,
I can't even remember.
Spitfire Mark V late wing. But basically 10 or 11 of those kits. And of course, while you're in the Edward area, you can't just buy those. I mean, I suppose you could, but I can't help myself. So I bought a whole bunch of Edward aftermarket parts that they make for different kits. I got a cockpit interior for the ME-110. I got an interior for the ME-109K that they've just brought out.
It's almost like a loss leader at the grocery store.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like enough of a sucker without you.
Well, you know, it's a lot of kits. I mean, it's a volume. It's a volume of plastic. But think about it, though.
No,
if you got 10 of them, you still haven't even broken a C note yet.
Yeah,
you can still get lunch.
Exactly.
You got 8 models and you still have enough to go get you could buy lunch at the convention.
Yes.
The overinflated hamburger price.
Right. If you restrained yourself and didn't get a whole bunch of aftermarket
Well, you know what
like
I'm
I
saying.
did, which I did. So then I bought 4 books. One of the things that I really like at the Nationals, if you take your time at the vendors and go through all the vendors, you'll find some vendors who are selling new and current books. And in fact, I bought the latest Pacific Profiles book from the folks at Casemate because I love that series and I pick them up as they come out. And of course, they had them on sale. Most of the vendors, even if they're selling at regular retail, are usually running 10 or 20% off just as an inducement. So I picked up that book, but I picked up 3 other secondhand books. One, a Colors and Profiles series on the late model Focke-Wulf 190 Ds and the TA 152s. I picked up an old Squadron book that I don't think I had, but wasn't sure. But for $5, I wasn't going to pass it up. Ended up picking up 4 books in total. Let's see. I picked up some Gator glue from Squadron and some of their marketing a new glue. And so I got some of it to try and kind of experiment with it to test it out. I got, I picked up 2 700 scale ship kits.
You did.
And both of them Japanese, one a carrier, one a liner, a cruise liner. And really, one of the skills I would like to acquire is soldering photo etch. And both of these will allow me to try that. And that's one of the things I want to learn. So I thought, why not? It's a great way to try and practice something I haven't practiced before. I picked up, Paul Gloucester brought me some tweezers, the Ennis tweezers.
You got some decals somewhere. I saw you.
I did. I bought only one set of decals. Only one. MiG-17 decals. And these were actually marketed by Squadron Signal to go along with their MiG-17 in action book. And so the decals are actually for 3 of the aircraft in the book. And I knew that sheet existed, but weirdly, it was a very short special run set of decals.
Who made them?
That's a great question. I don't know if they were Cartograph or Super Scale. I'm betting they were probably made by Super Scale.
Or even Microscale before there was a Super Scale.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw it, and it was, again, very cheap. By the way, that's kind of a theme in the vendor rooms at the show, is that you see a lot of stuff, and it's really cheap, and you think, what the heck, $5, $10, $15, whatever. And the next thing you know,
where's all my money?
Well, not only where's all my money, but oh my gosh, how am I going to get this all home? Luckily, I managed to give Evan McCallum an air booth that I brought, a spray booth that I brought to the show for him, that he had shipped to my house. And then Dave Goldfinch was staying in Fort Wayne, so that freed up a lot of room. And between the generous gifts that our listeners brought us in the form of modeling fluid and all of the stuff I bought, it filled up the entire space taken up by Dave Goldfinch and the air booth. So it worked out just barely. I bought about $50 worth of Mr. Color paint.
Yeah.
Because, again, got it at a really great price. And it turns out that the hobby shop that was there vending, it was a hobby shop from Muncie, Indiana, near where Inch lives. And so they have a really great price on Mr. Color paints. And so I picked up about 40 of them. And Inch is always telling me that, I'm always complaining that those are still a little tough to find. And he's telling me he can always get them for me if I need them. And now I understand why, because his local shop had pretty much the complete range.
So you can send him a list every now and then.
Exactly. Or go up and visit him. Hey, I hang out in his library. His lovely wife, Mrs. Inch, brings pizza. It was a great time. It was a great time. Now, hang on. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I was about to ask you if you had a full account of your.
Okay, I'm not going to count convention shirts. I'm not going to count the convention decal. The folks at ARMA were very generous to us. Technically, I didn't purchase any of that, but they were kind enough to gift Mike and I a pre-production sample of their new Hawk 81A. And as they left the show, they gifted us some other stuff. And what else?
It's like Jerry Maguire, man.
Show me the money. Or either that or help me help you. Help me help you. And folks, the thing that really was irritating here is that
he ran out of money.
Well, I did kind of run out of money. I didn't completely run out of money, but I ran out of money
that you can explain your way out of.
That I could explain my way out of. And what's really irritating besides that is that my podcast partner was utterly and completely restrained in his purchasing. And there is nothing more irritating than walking around with the guy who picks up and looks at a whole bunch of stuff that he says he'd be interested in, and then he doesn't buy it.
Okay.
What broke your wallet, Mike?
You broke my heart throwing me under the bus like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I said you were right earlier. You're going to use that sound clip. So
a year ago at Heritage Con, some stuff was going on, and I felt like I couldn't really. Just getting to the show was a big deal for me, and I really didn't spend much money up there. Did a little better than that at Heritage Con this past year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this year at Nationals, it just didn't matter that I needed to spend a bunch of money and buy myself a bunch of new stuff. And there are some things I got that I'm glad I got. There's one thing I missed that I'm going to keep looking for. Should have popped on it when I had the chance, both chances. 3 actually, because one guy had 2 of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't spend a lot of money. That does not reflect on how much fun I had at the show.
Gosh, no.
It was, I don't know. I was honestly a little surprised how little I spent myself, but I guess my point is I don't remember having a thought that I really don't need to spend any money. That never crossed my mind. I just didn't.
What did you buy?
Well, I was pretty heavy in the book department. I picked up a stack of older Squadron in Action books. I picked up 4 of the original white cover series.
Yeah.
And then a copy of the Light Panzers in Action, which was the first full color cover they did. So these are all like Armor in Action number 10 or less. So I was glad to get those. One of them ended up being a duplicate I had already, but it was part of the package.
I was going to ask if you were rounding out a collection.
I am rounding out a collection. Glad to get them. I love these books. They're good reference, but they also have a big nostalgic component with me.
Yeah, sure.
In addition, I picked up a newer Squadron book. It's still pre-Brandon Squadron. They started those walk around color series books, various armor and aircraft subjects. Got the Panzer 38T, 38 Czech walk around in color. I did not have that one. So that one goes.
Well, and you like that tank.
I like that tank. And I like that series of books.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting one of the Photo Sniper books on the Hungarian Toldi 38M light tank. I've got some stuff in the stash to start building one of these when I get off my rump and start modeling again.
Yeah,
was glad to get that. So I got 7 books, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, all stacked together, they're not much more than an inch thick, so not like it's earth shattering.
What else did I get? I got two kits.
You got photo etch?
I did, but I got two kits. I'll get that in a minute.
Okay.
You corrected my course correction on an E2 Hawkeye kit I was wanting to buy.
Yeah.
I thought I was wanting the new Heller kit, but I was wanting to do a Vietnam era aircraft.
Which means you needed the Fujimi kit.
Which you found for me in a big stack of kits.
At a good price.
At a good price, a great price. With Dean's Models.
Yes.
Or Dean's Hobbies. He's always at the Nationals, and he's always got a big stack of good stuff. E2C Hawkeye from Fujimi.
Yep.
I've had to do a little bit of research. Actually, even the C is a little late.
Yeah. You'll have to do some adjustment.
I don't know. Somebody can help me out here, but the interwebs say the B, which was the predominant version during the Vietnam War, externally is not really any different than the C.
Right. Well, there are probably some antennas here and there.
Yes, that may be it. But
yeah,
airframe, radome, tail, all that.
Yeah, all the big stuff.
All the big stuff seems to be the same. I picked up another copy, and this is another nostalgia, man. Matchbox's LRDG kit. It's 176 scale. The 30 CWT Chevrolet truck and the Willys Jeep, little diorama. I had one of these. I bought this at an MMCL, one of our local club's contests 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Ended up giving it to Stephen Lee, Sprue Pie with Frets.
Who did a beautiful job.
Who did a beautiful job. I tried to buy a replacement copy. When I got it, it had the wrong kit in the box. So that looked like a failure, but it was one of the multi-vehicle things I would honestly have bought anyway, eventually. So no harm there. No disparagement of the seller for selling me the wrong thing or trying to get my money back. I was a little disappointed at first. It was the wrong kit in the box. I was like, I was going to get this one anyway. So what's a box? So I've got another copy of this kit in the right box, and I don't know. It's going to be another one of those nostalgia builds. I like these kits. And
and I've got to say, I owe Jim Bates an apology, because every time he buys an old Matchbox or Airfix kit, I give him 40 kinds of heck about it. But I got to say, I really enjoy watching you searching for and picking up these old nostalgia kits, because they clearly do have a tie or a callback for you that you have a really deep memory of.
I do. I like them a lot. And well, here's where it comes from. We used to, department stores, Kmart, Hills, whatever, back when we were kids or younger. Maybe you weren't a kid, but I was.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, man.
Hey, man.
You're a big kid. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
They had their Hot Wheels and Matchbox displays, and sometimes they had the little carousel with the Matchbox cars, and they were actually in the box instead of on a blister pack.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'd have the catalogs. The little, they weren't much bigger than an index card. They're really thick, and it had all the Matchbox regular stuff. You had the supersized stuff. And then they started having the ones that had the model kits and the 76 scale military figures in them.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy any of that stuff in my hometown. There's just nobody, even the hobby shop in town who had a lot of Airfix stuff, never had any of the Matchbox stuff.
So you'd look at those things and dream.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, after I got older and mail order started becoming a bigger thing, or I was exposed to it and discovered it was a thing, I could start getting some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things I got. And this is one I always wanted. I never got it. But I got my first Matchbox stuff through the original Squadron mail order.
Oh, yeah. I remember
during one of their monthly flyer sales.
I remember the flyer waiting anxiously
for UPS to show up.
For the flyer to show up at the beginning of the month. Because, I would go over it like I was reading the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Well, I got one other thing, Dave.
Yes, you did.
I found a set of photo etch for the Dragon Carl Mercer.
Well, of course you got that kit, right?
No, I don't. I keep trying to get a deal on that kit, and I keep missing out. One of the guys won't budge on his price, and he's been toting that sucker around for a while. The other guy had two at a pretty good price and sold them both. Two different boxings of the same kit. And the one, man, I should have popped. I do regret that, not buying that one.
Yeah.
But it's photo etched from the company part from Poland. So if I get this, I usually have to order it from Jadar or somebody like that.
Right.
This guy was half off his list price, which is pretty much retail. So I got a good deal on this set. So
and their photo etch is really nice.
It is good. It's straight brass. It's good and soft, and it's just their sets are comprehensive enough. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
So that's what tried to break my wallet, but really didn't. I brought back pretty good amount of cash. So
yeah,
we'll figure out how to spend that later.
Well, you'll spend that at the MMCL show next month.
I might. You never know, man.
Either that or you're saving up for the next 3D printer you're going to get. I know that was a deferred purchase.
That's right. So who knows?
Yep.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for enduring our synopsis on the IPMS National Convention. We had a great time. If you've never been to one, you should come to Huntsville, Alabama in July of this coming year and check it out. You can have all the fun we had and more, maybe. Who knows?
Yep. Well, I got to say, Mike, as we head out here, Dr. Morris did a great job. The modeling fluid, Trappiste Rochefort, 9.2% alcohol by volume, great beer. Thank you, Dr. Morris. It was very kind of you to bring these, and I definitely enjoyed this.
And thank you to Paul Gloucester for the Russell single barrel. Really, really good. A little hotter than the 10-year I've been recommending to everybody, but it's got a little more heat, but it's got a lot of the same flavors, but a little more.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Good stuff, man.
Intensified. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, Dave, we're going to try to get a model show spotlight up here pretty soon. We're going to have our own MMCL club, and then some friends of ours who were on the model show spotlight last year out in Oregon, I think it is.
Yep.
Are going to come back because their jamboree's going on again, and we're really curious what they're going to change up and mix up and do a little different this time. And see, maybe nothing because it went so well. We'll see you then, Dave. Until then, my friend.
So many kits,
so little time, so many kits for you. You're
yeah, okay.
You went stash positive, man.
Oh yeah, for like 8 years at one show.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch you on the model show spotlight, and Lord willing, we're going to kick out another episode for this month. We'll do it.